Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of True Reflection. I don't really have a subject matter today. I just wanted to speak freely about whatever comes to mind at the moment. When I set out to do this podcast, I didn't even have a clue or any idea as to where to go with it. But I knew that I just wanted to share my thoughts and my opinion on my observations, not only of things that I experienced in my life personally, but also from my observation from the people and the things around me. Nothing that I say on this podcast is based off any studies. I do not have a degree in psychology, neither am I a therapist. But sometimes when you voice your opinion on certain things, it's kind of like a little bit of therapy. And I realized that, sometimes the experiences that you go through in life is not only for you to learn important life lessons, but also for you to help another person that may have gone through the same things that you went through or is going through the exact same thing that you went through. And if you have been hurt before, well, many of us have been hurt before, but sometimes people feel things more deeply than others. Like for me, I am a very passionate person, and I am a little bit of an empath. So I tend to feel things a little bit more deeply than the average person. So my reaction at times can be a little bit more dramatic than the other person's. And people always seem to understand and be like, oh, you're being so dramatic, you know. But if you understand the level of hurt that a person feels, then you can look at it and say that, you know what, their reaction in some ways are a little justified for them because they know at the extent that they were hurt. And so by sharing my experiences, I am allowing myself to grow and to heal because I'm a very reserved person. I'm very reserved. I'm very private. I'm not one to publicly voice my hurts or my pains, my frustrations, unless you are someone that I feel extremely, extremely, extremely close to. And so for me to start this podcast, which is a public forum, whether you have 5 listeners or 500 or 5,000 listeners, it's still a little scary for me to put myself out there and to share my experiences. It's not just my opinion on what I think about, certain matters, but it's also a little bit personal because I'm also implementing my personal experiences from what I felt and what I went through and what I've been through and what I'm probably still going through and struggling with. As people, we struggle with different subject matters, different things every day. And for me, as a person that is always inside my own head, I am definitely an overthinker. It's not always healthy. You need an outlet where you can freely express yourself. And me being an introvert, and compound that with me having social anxiety, all of that is hard because I'm thinking like, oh, what what are people going to think about the things that I say, or how are they going to receive the things that I say on this program, on whatever various subject matter that I'm saying. And the thing is, I'm not asking anybody to agree with me, because again, this is my personal views, my personal opinion, and based off my personal experiences. So in a sense, this is my truth. This is my truth that I am sharing with you guys. Personal matters that I wouldn't usually talk about otherwise. But like I stated earlier, sometimes other people can benefit from your hurt as well. Someone out there needs to hear your story. They need to hear the story of the things that you went through, the thought process that went through your mind at that period in time, the feelings and the emotions that you felt at that time. But more importantly, they need to hear and to understand what you did. How did you pick yourself up? How did you find strength in yourself to overcome the situations that you went through? So in a sense, this is not only therapy for me, but kind of, I don't want to say therapy for other people, but people can relate to a few of the things that I have talked about in my shows. You know, there are people that needs to hear that, you know, what you're feeling right now, you're not alone in it. What you are going through, the emotions that you are feeling right now, you're not alone. So very much like drug addicts have a support group, alcoholics have their AA meetings. It's very much the same way people that have anxiety and people that have depression, the very same way people need to have a support system. They need to know that they have other people out there that basically went through or still going through the same struggles, the same hurts, the same pains, the same trauma as they are going through, because it hurts. It hurts when you convince yourself that nobody out there cares. It hurts when you convince yourself that nobody out there is actually willing to take the time and listen to your cries or listen to you vent. Sometimes you just need an outlet to vent. And it especially hurts when you have convinced yourself that absolutely positively nobody cares. And that is the worst feeling that a person can have, to feel as though that you don't have one person that cares. And unfortunately for me, that is a feeling that I know all too well. It is a feeling that I am used to, the feeling of believing or convincing myself that I don't have not one soul out there that genuinely cares about me. And the thing is, it's not entirely their fault because I know that I can be a difficult person. I know that I can be a difficult person to love. I I know that when I become anxious, and it can be a period of time where I am anxious and I don't even know why I'm anxious. I just know that the feeling of anxiety comes over me, and it can last a long time. And then I start to get depressed. And it's frustrating that at times I can't even identify why I'm feeling depressed or why I'm having anxiety. But it happens. It happens. And like I said, it's frustrating that you can't pinpoint what trigger your anxiety or your depression to come on. And I know that when I am in that state, I am difficult to be around and I am difficult to love. But what people don't understand is that it is in those moments, it is in those moments where the reassurance, the reassurance is necessary. It's needed. It is needed. And you know, me, I love to self isolate. I love to isolate myself. I like to be in a corner, in a bubble, shield myself away from anything and everybody. And it's difficult if you having to deal with a person like that. It can be draining. It can be difficult. I do need that space. I do need that space to process what I'm feeling, because I have found that because nobody can understand when I'm going through that period of anxiety and that period of depression, that they tend to be judgmental and they tend to be harsh. And so, because I have experienced that throughout the courses of my life, now in my adulthood, when I get in that state, I just want my space. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to be alone. But with all that being said, I just I need that reassurance to know that I at least have somebody there. And by having somebody there, I just need that quiet company. I just need someone that's there with me through it, holding my hand from time to time. Even in the midst of me needing and requiring that space for me to own the pain that I'm going through in that moment, I still crave that quiet company. I crave it. I don't need I don't need people calling me all the time because I'm not going to answer the phone. But you can send a text, you know? You can send a message or you can leave a voice note. I will definitely listen to it, because even though I may not respond right away, it reassures me that somebody cares enough to check up on me. Somebody cares enough to send me a message to say, hey, I know you're going through it right now and you may not want to talk, but I just want you to know that I am there. I'm just checking up on you to make sure that you are okay. But I want you to know that I am there for you. And whenever you are ready to talk about it, I will be ready to listen without judging you. So take your time. I'm here when you need me. To have someone like that there for you, or to express that level of concern for you, is amazing. It is amazing because now you don't feel so alone. Now you don't feel so alone. You don't feel so lost. And when you feel like you are ready to talk, and even though you may not be able to pinpoint the exact reason that triggered your anxiety, they may be the one to help you narrow it down and to calm your fears. So for me to do this podcast is kind of like for me to reach out to the individuals like myself, to let them know that they are not alone, and that I understand, and that they will get through it. And the most important thing for me, I feel like everybody need that safe place. Everyone need someone that they can label as their safe place. That's someone that they can look to feel safe, and to feel warmth, and to feel comfort, because they know when they are at that safe place, or when they are with their safe place, there is no room for judgments. It's just safe. It's just comfort. It's just real, genuine love and concern. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's not, I don't even know why. I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to say that, you know, because I just want people to understand the reason. Like for me, this is kind of like my therapy. And people will say, like, you know what, maybe you should do vlogs instead of a podcast. You know, maybe you need to do some type of, you could do your podcast but record it so that it can be videos, so that people can see the person behind the voice, or so they can, see the expressions on your face when you are speaking, so that they can relate to you more. I'm an introvert and I have social anxiety. So for me to do a vlog where I'm sitting in front of a camera and, doing a live broadcast, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of work on my part to overcome my fears, because for me that would be like a lot like public speaking. And so to be in front of a camera and knowing that, people are like literally watching me trying to share my thoughts and my opinion, just the thought of it overwhelms me. Just the thought of it is like super scary for me. Like just right now, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. So will I have this podcast be transmitted into video in the future? I don't know. Who knows if I find a safe place, if I have a partner or a friend that's there next to me, that will randomly, hold my hand through it and just give me a reassuring glance or a reassuring look in the midst of me recording a vlog, then maybe I could definitely do it. But to say that I can do it by myself at this point in time, it's too early to say, because like I said, just the thought of it makes me nervous. So this is just something that I just wanted to throw out there. I just wanted to put it out there, so anybody that feels the things that I have mentioned, understand that you are not alone. You are not alone in this. I got you and I understand you. Peace.